Protein is the most essential part of any weightlifter's diet. Whether you're looking to bulk up, cut down, or just maintain your current physique, protein consumption will be the cornerstone of an effective diet. Unfortunately, a lot of advice you find online about protein consumption is somewhat inconsistent. Different sources will more often than not tell you different things, which can make it hard to get a concrete answer to your questions. In this video, I'm going to cover the science behind 5 useful protein facts that you can use to improve your diet plan. Everything I'm going to cover is backed by science-based principles and sound logic to give you the concrete answers you're looking for. Without any further ado, let's jump right into it. This is one of the least consistent subtopics in regards to protein intake. There are many factors which can influence how much protein you should be aiming to eat daily. If you want to stimulate muscle growth to its full potential, the National Institute of Health recommends eating 1.6 to 2.2 grams of protein per kilogram of body weight per day when you're eating at or above maintenance, namely bulking, while suggesting that in those in a calorie deficit, eat 2.3 to 3.1 grams of protein per kilogram of body weight per day. As you can see, these suggested ranges of protein consumption are pretty broad, but there are some ways to narrow them down. The first and most important factor to consider is your goal. Are you looking to put on size and strength? Eating a surplus of calories while hitting the lower end of these recommendations will be enough. Are you looking to cut down and get lean? Consider eating towards the higher end of the range in a calorie deficit. Body fat percentage also plays a role in the amount of protein you need to eat per day. The more body fat you have, the less likely your body is to break down muscle tissue to use for energy. What does this mean? If you're cutting down with the hopes of getting quite lean, you'll need to be careful not to eat too little protein and risk losing gains. On the other hand, someone at the end of their long bulk might not need to concern themselves with downing as many chicken breasts and protein shakes to maintain their gains. Finally, training experience will play a role in your ideal protein intake. A novice lifter still in their newbie gains phase will be more receptive to their training and might not need to get as much protein in as a more experienced lifter to see similar results. So, some practical recommendations. A new lifter looking to get big should focus mostly on just sticking to their diet and can be satisfied with eating 1.6 grams of protein per kilogram of body weight daily, or slightly above if you prefer. Someone who's at the end of their first long bulk and looking to get leaner can likely maintain their gains with 2+ grams of protein per kilogram of body weight daily, and could consider adding to that as they get leaner. Finally, a seasoned bodybuilder looking to cut down to a low body fat percentage should definitely aim for above the 2.5 grams of protein per kilogram of body weight per day level. There are many different protein sources you can use to reach your macro goals. However, research says that not all protein is made equal. A meta-analysis by the University of Birmingham found that supplementing with higher quality casein protein stimulated protein synthesis more than a lower quality plant-based alternative. So, protein synthesis is the driving force behind muscle growth. It's the adaptive response to your training sessions which make your muscles get bigger and stronger. There were significantly more strength gains seen in the individuals who were given the higher quality protein supplements over the course of the studies. If you're tracking your workouts and aim to get that extra rep or plate on the bar each time, the strength gains which come from higher quality protein sources can help you progress faster and up the tension on your targeted muscles. On to the third fact. Consuming protein every 3 to 5 hours is best for stimulating growth. Most weightlifters don't consider protein timing in their diet plan, but it's definitely worth paying attention to. McMaster University demonstrated that 20 grams of whey protein administered every 3 hours was enough to maximally stimulate protein synthesis over a 12-hour wake-in period. You can use this information as a sort of guide for when you should be aiming to eat your meals during the day. Try to avoid cramming your meals in at the beginning or end of the day. Instead, spread them out to make sure that your body is repairing and growing at all times. Consider taking high protein snacks to work like almonds or a protein bar, or setting alarms for roughly when you should be eating to make sure that you aren't leaving any gains on the table. Yes, it's as easy as it sounds. Consuming protein before going to bed is another great way to amplify your size and strength gains. During the overnight period, protein synthesis rates drop off. This means your body isn't growing and repairing to its full potential as you sleep. Nutrim School of Nutrition conducted a study in which they found that protein synthesis rates were 22% higher overnight in participants who consumed protein closely before going to bed than in participants who didn't. This tells us a lot about what pre-sleep protein can do. Without it, you're only going to get around 80% of your potential recovery and growth overnight. Over weeks, months, and years, this 20% has a potential to compound into noticeably quicker gains in size and strength, alongside a solid training plan and diet. The vast majority of lifters don't incorporate pre-sleep protein into their diet. Simply making a protein shake before going to bed is an easy way to better your overnight recovery and further increase your strength and size gains. In a cutting context, maximising the volume of food you eat is key, and if you want the best bang for your buck in terms of fullness, protein is the answer. In a study conducted by the University of Washington School of Medicine, researchers found that an increase in protein intake at a constant carbohydrate intake led to increased weight loss in participants. Put simply, those who ate more protein and less fat lost more weight over the course of the study. Pretty useful stuff for those of you looking to cut down for summer. There is one key way in which increasing your protein intake will help with weight loss, being that protein has the ability to produce greater satiety than other macronutrients. Basically, lean protein makes you feel more full. This increased satiety is definitely worth leveraging when you're looking to cut down. Increasing the amount of meat, fish, and plant-based proteins you eat while reducing your fat intake will mitigate your hunger and help you stick to your diet consistently. That's it for today's facts. Now, you're equipped to take your nutrition game to the next level and get the most out of your lifting sessions. Remember, eating enough protein daily alongside a solid training plan is the most important thing to worry about. Smaller optimizations to timing and the amount you eat per meal are just ways to build upon your existing diet and get the most out of your training. Stay consistent, eat well, and until next time, goodbye.